Welcome so much to the interview, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
For someone who's been trying to improve the perception of skincare in India, being here under your company and taking your guidance is a great opportunity. I wanted to understand from you, it's been more than 2 decades into the industry and practicing dermatology. So what are the key changes in terms of trends and in terms of people's opinion about skincare, their perception about skincare that you've seen changing over the years?
I think there's a huge jump. When I started practice in 2000, I only used to see patients who would come for a skin disorder like a psoriasis or an eczema or severe acne. Even normal few acne here and there in blackheads and whiteheads were considered normal. People did not come for treatment at that time. And then gradually, there was more evolution. People now, especially post-lockdown, I must say, it has just leaped to another level where suddenly everybody is more conscious, more aware. I think thanks to social media, digital media, a lot of platforms like yours, where you create awareness. So people want to educate themselves. And then there is this whole thing about self-love, and skincare is a part of self-love, mindfulness, and that whole act of using a cleanser, a moisturizer, a sunscreen, a serum. It feels like meditating. When I interview a lot of my patients as to what is it, why do you suddenly want to do this? They just feel it's self-love. So I think that's the leap. There's knowledge, there's easy access. You press one button and the product comes to you. Pehle nahi hota tha. People now know about active ingredients, serums, AHA, BHA, what is retinol, what is niacinamide, what is vitamin C. We used to prescribe this 20 years ago also, but people didn't know about it. Now they're more aware. Sustainability, compliance, all these things people are now aware. So, and not just this, I used to see about 10% males and 90% females, and now it's equal, 50%, so all genders in fact.
Amazing. So a leap from clinical dermatology to cosmetic dermatology, which has been enabled by a lot of social media. In that sense, ma'am, I wanted to understand, you've also been doing a lot of efforts with your books in ensuring that the skincare knowledge is accessible to the masses. So what are the things that you think are important for people to know? How do they filter out the noise of social media and understand what is right and to be followed versus what is just noise and probably not right for them?
I think this is very important. Now, social media has its pros because it has created the buzzword that, you have to give importance to your skin. Skin is the largest organ of the body. But at the same time, there are a lot of cons because, as you said, there are a lot of people who just are jumping out from nowhere without any knowledge in skin, and they are suddenly talking about their skincare or, this product is right or this is the right kind of serum and stuff with no background, no knowledge. You just read something online and then you become a skin influencer. So what people should see is look at very authentic platforms. So either follow dermatologists or aestheticians who have had a proper, study background, or aesthetic physicians, cosmetic formulators. So look at their degree and look at their experience and not just randomly follow any website or any social media platform. Pharmaceutical companies like you for that matter will always make that extra effort to come across as authentic and will give you evidence-based research and data and will give you the right kind of information. So you should look at that rather than just blindly saying this actor likes this the most or this influencer has X million followers, so she must be the best, but that's not necessarily true.
Right, ma'am. Talking about research and ensuring that the content is right, you've been able to churn out 3 beautiful books on skincare, and writing a book is a pipeline dream for most of us, and we are not able to realize it while you have such a busy schedule, and still you've been able to make it possible for your patients. So I wanted to understand, how do you manage your time and how do you ensure that you are so much in touch with what consumer needs?
I think I am very disciplined. I can now at this point of my life say that I lead a very balanced life. So I don't bring work home. In terms, yes, I do a lot of my study and my research at home, but I don't bring patients home. So once I reach home at whatever time, my phone is switched off. I do not respond to anybody. Luckily in Skin, we do not have emergencies. So whatever time at home is given to my family. For example, if we go for an outing or a dinner or a movie, I don't carry my phone. So that whatever little time I give them. Similarly, when I'm in the clinic, I will not answer calls from my house or for my friends. So my 100% dedication is towards my patient who has come. So I have my set timetables. If I have to meet people, there are specific days. I don't meet anybody just any time because I need that time for my patients. So I try to balance it that way. When it comes to books, you know, I have another clinic. I have two clinics. So one is here, which is very close to my house. The other one is about 21 kilometers away. So it takes about an hour in Mumbai traffic for me to reach my clinic. And so 3 days in a week, I'm going there. So during my commute, while going and coming, I just, today we have good gadgets. So I just rattle whatever I want to in terms of skincare content onto my phone. And then that gets, you have a speech to text. You can change that. So I have that application. So I do that and the whole thing gets connected, changed into text. And then we can edit that. There'll be a few words here and there. That's how I've done this book.
Lovely.
So that's how you have to find a balance for everything.
So it's not just being disciplined, it's also being very efficient and leveraging the technology the right way.
Yes, it's important to, you have to update yourself and live with what people are doing right now. I mean, if Gen Z and millennials are doing something, you can't sit back and say I don't belong to this generation. You have to live with them and understand. So I do spend a little time on social media only during my commute, especially while coming back when you're completely exhausted and you don't have the mind to do anything else. So that's the time I would probably answer my WhatsApps, look at social media, understand what the younger generation wants. And how do they want it? Like if I just want to talk about skincare and I just say something, they won't listen. But if I do some of their trendy music or their trendy dance moves and all, initially my senior dermatologist did object, but slowly they all realized that, this is the way people are going to accept it, and everybody started doing it. So I think you've got to go with the flow, and Mr. Bachchan is our biggest inspiration. You look at him; he's there on all social media platforms, right? So I think you have to go with the flow and accept and everything, and just live for today.
Very fair. Change is the only constant. 23 years of practice, countless number of patients, and the galaxy of stars. I am sure the Bollywood looks glowing because of you. I wanted to understand, what are the skin rules that you live by? I am sure you've been asked this question numerous times, but what are the skin rules that you follow religiously, and what are your favorite ingredients?
So my first book, Skin Talks. Why is it called Skin Talks? Because the skin talks to you. So always listen to your skin. On certain days you may feel dry. So on those days you will use a heavy moisturizer. On certain days you may feel very oily. So on those days you use a gel-based moisturizer. In Bombay, your skin is different. In Jaipur, your skin is different. In London, your skin is different because the climate is different. So depending, and again, your skin will tell you. So the skin talks to you. Okay. Then you make certain rules for yourself. Once you've understood your skin type, you make your rules. So the basic rule is that you cleanse, you moisturize, and you protect with a sunscreen, right? So this is something that I will probably never forget to do. I live by that rule, that I have to moisturize my skin. My skin is very dry. I may use something really inexpensive, doesn't matter. I have to use the right kind of sunscreen. I don't think I have skipped a sunscreen in the last 25 years, ever. So a sunscreen with an SPF of 30 is enough for Indian skin, but if you're outdoors, probably you could use an SPF of 50. And if you have hyperpigmentation, then again stick to SPF 50. The rule is 2 fingers, and you keep reapplying every 2 hours if you're outdoors or if you are indoors in front of a lot of LED or laptop and stuff. Then, so my sunscreen is my best friend. I go by that rule all the time. I do not do elaborate skincare in the morning. This is my basic routine in the morning: moisturizer, sunscreen, and maybe a little makeup, whatever, and then I'm at work. At night, again, makeup removal, because there is a little bit of makeup on. Very important, however tired I am. I don't think I've forgotten to, it's in my DNA, I think, where I have to remove makeup even if I come back home after a party at 4 a.m. I may not, on those exhaustive days, may not apply anything at night, but I will remove my makeup and go to bed. So my night ritual is usually that. I have started using retinol. I am going to be 50 this year. So I think since the last 5 years, I've been using a retinol religiously every maybe 2 or 3 times in a week, because again, my skin is dry, and 3 times in a week is more than sufficient, and I really swear by retinol. It's not safe during pregnancy, but otherwise it's a very good ingredient. So, and you need to pick the right kind of retinol. So start from a lighter formulation and go to a heavier one in terms of concentration. So that's something I swear by. And on the other days, I might use either a vitamin C, or I might use something which is alpha lipoic acid and tranexamic acid, like a combination, serum, because I do have some hyperpigmentation. So that's all that I do. I keep it very basic. But what I really believe in is that your skin is what you eat. There's something called the microbiome, and there is a direct relation between your gut and your skin. So you need to eat healthy, you need to avoid sugar, you need to sleep on time, you need to allow your melatonin and other hormones to work on your skin, you need to exercise, and most importantly, all the the smoking and the vaping and the Juul and all that has to be cut out from your system. And all of us have stress in life. So learning to deal with stress and cope with it and not have your brain overthink and produce a lot of cortisol is another thing that you must master. And that's my skin rule.
Lovely, ma'am. So it's genuinely very all-encompassing, and it's not just about products, but more about taking care of yourself.
Holistic approach.
Approach, right. Ma'am, one last question. Like, you are at the pinnacle of your career, and a lot of doctors, almost 200 plus doctors, follow our channel. So a lot of them aspire to have a career like you, be a successful dermatologist. So what would be your career advice to the budding dermatologists who look up to you as an idol?
I think the first thing is that you have to constantly evolve and constantly update yourself. There is no end to learning. Even now I'm constantly reading, and I'm constantly, whether it's newer publications, peer-reviewed journals, or attending conferences or workshops. So you have to really be thorough. Your foundation has to be strong. So that knowledge has to be strong, and then update yourself. That's lesson number 1. Second, you have to be ethical. You're a doctor, you're not a business person. So running a chain of clinics or a chain of beauty, cosmetic spas and whatever medi-facial kind of things that keep happening. So, it's a good thing to have it on the side, but you're at heart and by default, by your learning, a doctor. So you have to be ethical. You have to have empathy for your patient. You can't treat your patient like a commodity. There has to be a personal relationship with your patient, and that's very important, because then the patient will only believe in you, trust you, and come back to you. Otherwise, you are no different from anybody else. So that's important. Discipline yourself, dedicate yourself. Perseverance is important. So, everything doesn't come easy. And when it comes easy, it goes off also very easily. So if you go the hard way, you, work towards and believe in yourself and work towards achieving your goals, you surely will. So I think discipline, dedication, determination, honesty, perseverance, and that thirst to keep on learning is what should be there in you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So many jewels to pick from this interview. It was personally a high point for me. I genuinely thank you from the bottom of my heart to take out time to have this discussion with us and have this candid conversation with our viewers.
Thank you. Thank you so much.